Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Point with Omar and Ibadat. With me, as always, is my brother Omar. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
And today, for those of you on YouTube, as you can see, we're joined by a very special guest today, namely my wife, Noor.
Hello everyone, I'm Noor.
And she's here actually in conjunction with the topic that we're discussing today, which is going to be mind over matter. And this is more to do with a recent experience that we had that sort of brought this idea or this topic to the front, and we thought we'd talk about this in more detail in our podcast. So how about you kick things off, Omar?
You have to be more specific.
Yeah, no.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you, Noor, for joining us. It's
Thank you
a
for
pleasure
having
to
me.
have you. And I must say that the experience was much more eye opening with you. It's because के हम लोग मैं और इबादत ऑलरेडी तकरीबन 1.5 साल पहले या 2 साल पहले ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे जा चुके थे. फॉर दोज ऑफ यू हू डोंट नो, वी वेंट टू Wahba Crater, where you basically do a hike which is about 250 meters down and 250 meters up. Right now, the hike is moderate. It's not really difficult. Well, if you are unfit, ये बहुत ही मुश्किल है. ठीक है. That's what happened to us. Like 2 साल पहले मैं और इबाद गए थे, and 5 मिनट में पता चल गया कि ये हमसे ना हो पाएगा. And we did decided that we're gonna get back in shape and we're gonna come back and we're gonna do that. Now, during this time, we did eventually got in shape. Now, the thing was कि हम लोग ने तो बड़ी देर से माइंड बनाया हुआ था कि हम लोग क्या करेंगे. But I think with Noor, it was because of her medical condition, it was much difficult for her to do that. But we did, and bravo for that. It's just कि it shows कि आपके माइंड जो है, आपका माइंड, it can take your body wherever you think you can, right? Like अगर आप मैं तस्वीरों में देखें कि आप देख सकते हैं कि अगर आप इसको ऊपर से देखें, you will be like यार ये it's not easy, it's risky. ठीक है. First of all, if I talk about myself, I have fear of heights. ठीक है. So it wasn't easy for me. There wasn't proper steps. The train was rough. It had slippery rocks, so it was really difficult for me. I guess it would have been more difficult for Noor, and I'm not sure about Ibadat because Ibadat is now doing jiu-jitsu, so I think he's building up endurance as well. But it just shows that your mind can take over anything, can take over your body, right? So
That's very
I
true.
guess, yeah, I think Noor, you must tell us how was the experience.
Okay, I'll just start because you talked about the medical condition I had. So I remember 2 years ago when you guys went to Wahba Crater, and coming back, Ibadat told me कि बहुत मुश्किल था, हम लोग नहीं जा पाए बहुत ज़्यादा distance, and that the fitness level was very bad at that point of time. Honestly, at that time and before that as well, I was diagnosed with something called fibromyalgia. And before I was diagnosed with it. मैंने ये term कभी नहीं सुनी थी. But I was just somebody who मुझे body aches and pains, I was very familiar with them basically. And that's basically when I went to the doctor and he said, okay, आपको तो fibromyalgia है. And that's where I was diagnosed with this medical condition. Anyways, fast forward like 3 years, 4 years, I was switched to multiple medications, and a lot of the pain was actually in my head. लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता था ये. And I never really tried to fight it either. I was always and mostly in the victim role. And I was like, okay, I'm in pain, and so on and so forth. And when you guys went to Wahba Crater, I think when Ibadat came back and told me about it, there was something that triggered inside me as well कि भाई मुझे भी करना है, because it is not like कि I never wanted to get into this, लेकिन I think my condition kind of stopped me. And I let it stop me. I'm going to say it outright. बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जो हम लोग अपनी conditions को blame कर रहे होते हैं. And that's exactly what I was doing as well. Please note that I'm not saying कि all the people watching this and suffering from multiple issues के आप लोग अपनी conditions को blame कर रहे हैं. I'm just talking about myself. कि I was playing the victim role basically. And after that incident that you guys had, I was still not in that frame of mind कि भाई मैं जाऊँगी एक दिन and I will also do this. हाँ, my heart kind of wanted to do, be there with you guys when you go down. Again, fast forward, I worked a lot on myself, on my pain, and Ibadat helped me a lot during all of this time. And I think 3-4 months ago, something switched in my mind, which is a very long story and I don't want to get into it right now. Lekin that switch basically put me into the mode ke bhai, I have to become fit. I would like to become a person who can achieve different things, whether it's hiking or running or a certain level of fitness. And I started working with a physical trainer. She has been a wonderful help with for me to be able to do everything that I was able to do with you guys. And मुझे नहीं पता था कि what I was expecting when I went to Wahba Crater with you guys, because आप लोग तो पहले देख चुके थे. For me it was the first time. And then when I saw ऊपर से वाकई 1 मिनट के लिए when I got scared कि यार ये तो बहुत deep है और how am I going to do this? But then I was like, you know what, अब सोच के आए करना तो है.
Exactly.
And going down, I again did not expect कि it would tire me out. I was like, oh, नीचे जाना है, कोई इतना मसला नहीं है. And but we did it. So that is basically it kind of like you said, कि mind over matter or whatever you want to call it. लेकिन it was because I decided and you guys decided कि भाई ये करना है, and that was literally the only reason that we were able to do it.
The funny thing is that I think Ibadat do a lot of research compared to us, and nowadays there is a lot of topics, there is a lot of articles where you can train your mind to do a lot more what you think you can do. Okay, but we have the resources, we have YouTube, we have the resources on our internet. Okay, we have the luxury of being in air conditioned or heated homes. Okay, we have the luxury of all the luxuries we have. Okay, but with this luxury, I think we are limiting our body. Like आज से आप 100 साल 150 या 200 साल आप पीछे करते हैं, तो वहाँ पे लोगों की जो लोग एक्सर्शन करते थे बॉडी से, जो मेहनत करते थे, वो ज़्यादा थी. ठीक है, whereas compared to now, what we are doing is we are just most of us are just sitting on the laptop or the screens, and we are working in comfortable environment. ठीक है, तो हम लोग बॉडी को उस तरह पुश नहीं करते जिस तरह जो बॉडी होना चाहती है. ठीक है because human body is amazing. Like if I talk about myself, when I was in UK, I went there in February. It was really really damn cold, ठीक है, and I was like यार ये तो मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ठंड है. But eventually, like after 2 weeks, I got normalized. My body was normalized. ठीक है, I was used to that weather. और जब मैं सऊदी आता था तो वहाँ यहाँ पे आके मुझे गर्मी लगती थी, इवन इन दिसंबर, बिकॉज दैट वाज देयर लाइक ब्रिटिश समर. बट 2 हफ्तों में ही जो है मेरी बॉडी जो है यूज हो जाती थी. सो द थिंग इज दैट योर बॉडी इज, एंड ये बॉडी आई मीन दैट आप ब्रेन को इस तरह आप ट्रेन कर लेते हैं. ट्रेन भी नहीं, यानी कि ऐसा आपका ब्रेन ऐसा एक मैटर है कि आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. इट्स जस्ट इन योर हेड, राइट. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द वाबा क्रेटर, हम लोग लेट पहुंचे थे वहाँ पे, तो हम लोगों ने हाइक भी स्टार्ट कर दी. और हम लोग जब ऊपर आ रहे थे इट वाज कम्प्लीटली पिच डार्क, ठीक है. थैंकफुली वी हैड आवर लैम्प्स, ठीक है, और लाइट्स वगैरह हमारे पास थी. बट इन दैट, ठीक है, इट वाज कह लो कि 3 गुना ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो गया था, बिकॉज देयर वाज विंड विच स्टार्टेड आउट ऑफ नोवेयर, ठीक है. मतलब हवा का नाम और निशान नहीं था, राइट. एंड वी गाइस वर लाइक लेफ्ट एंड राइट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट विंड. इट वाज खासा, मतलब इट वाज रियली विंडी. दूसरा, देयर वाजंट प्रॉपर मार्किंग्स, ठीक है. कुछ हद तक जो है वहाँ पे मार्किंग्स थी, बट एट some point where we were, where it was pitch black, we had no clue where to go, ठीक है. So we were relying on our senses, on sense of direction, ठीक है. And तीसरी चीज़ ये थी कि the environment was unknown to us. We don't know कि वहाँ पे scorpions हैं या snakes हैं, ठीक है. मैं तो इन दोनों की बात करूँगा इनसे मुझे डर लगता है, ठीक है. But the thing is that when you were that time, I think we weren't thinking about the wind, we weren't thinking about the snakes, we weren't thinking about the scorpions. What we were thinking was that we have to reach on the top. और उसके लिए हम सिर्फ एक स्टेप की बारे में सोच रहे थे. आई रिमेंबर कि हम लोग अगर ऊपर भी देखते थे तो हमें इतना पता नहीं चलता था कि आर वी देयर येट, कितना रहता है एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं चल रहा था हमें, ठीक है. क्योंकि एक तो वो ट्रेन इस तरह की थी जो है आपको कुछ रॉक्स के साथ जो है वो छुप जाता था, ठीक है. और आई रिमेंबर कि जो है मैं ये बात को कह रहा था कि यार हैव वी पास दैट पॉइंट वेयर देयर वाज अ डिप, जहाँ पे हम लोग जो उतरने में हमें मुश्किल हुई थी. एंड ही वाज लाइक या वी हैव क्रॉस्ड इट. एंड आई स्टिल कैन नॉट बिलीव दैट वी डिड दैट इन पिच ब्लैक कंडीशंस, ठीक है. मतलब उतरते वक्त मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा मुश्किल हुई थी. बट when we climbed that, I still don't remember when and how we did that. And it's just that, at that point in our head was, okay, we just have to take one step at a time. And that's what we did. Right. So I guess it's all in our head. Similarly, if I'm not sure about Ibadat or Noor, there is someone called Wim Hof, ठीक है. He is an extreme athlete, motivational from Dutch, also known as Iceman.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Right. अब उसने काफ़ी वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड किए हैं. He did around 26. He broke 26 world records, ठीक है. Normally, what he does is that he did barefoot, just in shorts. He did half marathon, ठीक है, in a record time. Now, अगर आप इसकी बात करो तो उसके बाद जो है he took longest body contact ice bath, ठीक है, which was for 1 hour 52 minutes, ठीक है. Now, if you talk about if you are in some serious condition, if you are in really really cold water, ठीक है, it's all about your mind. क्योंकि ये सबको पता है कि हम लोग जैसे शावर में जाते हैं सुबह के टाइम और पानी ठंडा हुआ लाइक शिट गर्म पानी, राइट. बट ही ट्रेन हिज माइंड सो वेल दैट he can overcome the power of his body. And the fun fact is that most of those records have been broken by someone else, right? Let's say कि पहले मैराथन में कहा जाता था कि जो है ना the full marathon it will be finished in 4 hours or 3 hours. अब वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड वो कम होता जा रहा है. It reached to 3 hours, then 2.5 hours, then 2 hours 15 minutes. So it's just that, you know, when you know कि someone can do that, ठीक है, you train your mind कि यार अगर ये कर सकता है तो मैं इसे फास्ट कर सकता हूँ, राइट? लाइक हम लोगों ने वाहबा क्रेटर जो है ये हम लोगों ने क्रॉस कर लिया. अगर हमें कोई बोलेगा कि जो है कर सकते हो, वी वोंट हेजिटेट कि शायद या शायद नहीं, वी विल से यस वी कैन डू दैट बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन दैट, राइट? So it's just that, you know, we have to prep our mind. Most of the times we have to prep our mind के unseen things से हम लोग जो है उनको उसको prep कर रहे हैं, right? So
I would like to say something here is that ke you're absolutely right about training the mind, but we also have to, I think अगर मेरी body trained नहीं है और you know I'm just going and I'm like I can hike, that is very unrealistic and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
That's kind of what happened when we went the first time.
yeah,
So
we weren't ready
yeah, your body
physically
wasn't
as
prepared.
well. We weren't even ready mentally as well. I mean, when we saw
we
it,
tried pushing mentally. You see, the distinction that we need to make is that when you're saying that your mind needs to be ready for it, sure, it does need to be ready. However, it also needs to prepare the body in conjunction with the will that you've taken on or that you've decided upon. If your mindset has decided to become better, stronger, meaner, tougher, whatever, that requires you to translate that into physical action as well, because all of these things, a marathon, a hike, moderately tiring hike, even as one such as Wahba Crater, that still requires a level of physical fitness that you need to achieve beforehand, and that in itself requires you to be dedicated mentally. Like you need perseverance, you need to discipline yourself, either in terms of food, in terms of diet, in terms of physical exertion and training and training regimes. All of these things, they all combine. And then again, this sort of ties into our whole theme that we keep running on about discipline equals freedom, or basically how you need to structure your mind in order to achieve your goals. In previous podcasts, we've talked a lot about this particular theme, and this is sort of a continuation towards that same thing. But then again, it's in this case, it's more of a practical and end result, you can say, a more tangible result. Because
I think you can relate this to David Goggins. I'm sure you have तुमने उसके बारे में ज़्यादा रिसर्च किया, तो you can, मैंने तो सिर्फ उसको एक दफ़ा देखा था, ठीक है, उसका मैं तुम्हें बाद में बताता हूँ. But why don't you discuss about his experiences?
David Goggins is in short, he's also a retired US Navy SEAL, much like Jocko Willink, and in a similar strain compared to Jocko, he's also a man who prizes mind over matter, and yet in his pursuit of mind over matter, he's broken God knows how many records, like at least 3 or 4 if I recall correctly. He's broken Guinness Book World Records in terms of physical fitness. I think there was one for running, if I recall correctly. Pull-ups, sorry. There was one for pull-ups. A couple of others for I don't know what else. But
Marathon cycling.
But this is he's what 40 plus, I think.
Yeah.
And at this age, he's breaking records. He's training himself every single day. He's got a ton of motivational speeches and podcasts with other famous podcasters like Joe Rogan and other guys. where he talks about how you need to train your mind as well as your body, and how important it is that you need to be in the mindset despite your mind wanting to fail, or your desire to not continue anymore with the struggle, and how to overcome that weakness within yourself.
He actually has a book. He wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
So if the people out there, please, I've read that book. It is a beautiful book. And in that book, he talks about his journey, like what caused him to be who he is today, and how he became the person that he is, and the struggles that he faced. Everything. He talks about everything. And if you guys hear the audiobook, he has small recordings after every chapter, and he challenges you to get up and do things in order to change your life.
हाँ मैंने
it's a
उसके
very good
मैंने उसकी जो है उसमें इंस्टाग्राम स्टोरी में एक मैंने देखा था कि when her wife was saying that he started cycling for, he said he's gonna cycle for only 5 minutes and end up doing that for I think good 2-3 hours, right? That was when I was going through tough times, and I think I wanted to just exert my negative energy somewhere. And what I did was like I started cycling as well, because I got the cycle like lying at my place. So I'm someone who hates cycling. ठीक है, ये जो workout वाली cycling, I hate that. And I think the
Workout while
maximum exactly like maximum I could do that was for 10 minutes. ठीक है, तो मैं उसके ऊपर स्टार्ट किए, 10 मिनट हुए, 20 मिनट हुए, 30 मिनट हुए. Then I was like, okay, it's not that bad. I think it's how you think about it. I was like, let's really push it. 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 1 hour. Take it. I was like, oh, shit, I could do this for 1 hour. Let's take it to 90 minutes. And I did that in one go. The funny thing was, with each kilometers, each time, each 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it was getting easier. Rather than it being hard, it was getting easier, because I think my mind was कि यार अगर इतना कर सकते हैं तो आगे और पुश भी कर सकते हैं. अगर 10 मिनट कर सकते हैं, 20 मिनट भी कर सकते हैं, अगर 60 मिनट किए हैं तो इसको 90 मिनट भी कर सकते हैं. So that was when I actually realized that how powerful your body is. And similarly, that what happened with when I started working out as well. When I was following Caroline Carmen, okay, she's a beast. She literally is a beast. And some of the moves I couldn't do that. The funny thing is, she starts her workout schedule with leg day, which everybody hates, and she focuses a lot more on squats, like really a lot on squats. And I was like, यार ये मतलब ये क्या बकवास है, इसमें सिर्फ squats ही हो रहे हैं, मतलब और बाकी parts भी हैं यार, मतलब. But the thing is that उसका advantage I saw while I was hiking. ठीक है, it played a major role. I wasn't tired the next day. I wasn't sore the next day. It was easy for me. So it's just that I finished the last 50 days challenge, जो उसका था Epic 2. Now I have started Epic 3. So it's just that it's how you train your body, how you train your mind, and of course you train your body with your mind.
The funny thing is that you took on a proper fitness regime. Like you went somewhat to the gym, or you focus mostly on your legs and your upper body strength and your endurance. At the same time, that is a structured training plan. While in my case, I wasn't that structured at all in my training or in my regime, as it were. What I personally
I
did
guess it was more to do
was
with mental.
not exactly. I did take on physical activities like on a proper, regular, consistent basis. Remember the key word being consistent here. So I
Yeah.
swam every day for intense swimming for 20 minutes continuously, non-stop, day after day, every day for at least a month. And in the same day, I would go for jiu-jitsu in the evenings, 1 hour's worth of class, and that would be rough. I mean, I'm not going to say it was easy. That was tough. I got a few injuries during my jiu-jitsu as well. That put me out of JJ for maybe a day or two, but that was about it. Well, my break days came in the middle. My weekends are the break days, but 5 days a week it was swimming and jiu-jitsu continuously. And as a result of that, I experienced pretty much the same outcomes as you. I didn't feel tired at all after the hike the next day. I mean, of course, on the same day it was tiring. Even though after that we pitched camp, we cooked, we did a lot of other activities, including the hike during the day. I mean, it was a 4-hour drive first to the crater. We split the drive between us, and then we went down and we came back up, and then we pitched a tent. We put out dinner things and cooked dinner over a campfire and everything. So all of that required effort. It wasn't as though we came back from the hike and that was over. We were just lying down sleeping or resting or anything like that. So what I'm trying to say is that the endurance that both our very differing regimes brought on was both mental strength as well as physical strength.
Yeah.
For me, being able to pin down my laps during my swimming right down to a minute, around a minute and 20 for 50 meters. So I would try and beat that score every day. So, because obviously I'm not a very good swimmer. I mean, I know how to swim, but that's about it. Now it started to become like I want to surpass my limits kind of swimming, rather than just swimming for the heck of it or just for fun's sake. So that helped in mentally pushing me to push my limits. And jiu-jitsu is always a full body workout. It's intense, it's fun, it's amazing, it's incredible. It's always incredible. I've already said enough good things about it. I'm not going to rant on about it again. But a combination of both of these things led to the endurance level that I saw in myself for the first time, because I never experienced this kind of physical freedom before. I mean, after the hike, we did all of that, and then we drove back home the next day after sleeping overnight on the ground. It was rough terrain. It wasn't exactly
In the
easy
car,
sleeping, but
for me, in the car.
yeah, that was rough. That was rough. So the thing is that even on a half-rested, half-recovered state, it wasn't exhausting at all. There were hardly any aches or pains that carried over to the next day because of our relatively better physical condition compared to how we used to be, not just for the hike that we tried a couple of years ago, but more overall, like how we were maybe a couple of months ago. So
Yeah.
that was a very striking contrast that came to mind, because we then, I mean, drove back all the way, like 4 hours worth of drive after this level of hike and recovery and camp and whatnot, and not to
Just on
mention
tuna
our
and
car
eggs.
battery. Just tuna
And
eggs.
Snickers.
And
Snicker power.
and not forget Snicker power. Also dead car battery power.
ओह यस वो मैं बाद में ये सोच रहा था कि यार मतलब उसके बाद I actually walked, I think it was like around 1
All the way
kilometer,
to the main
yeah,
place.
1.5. उसके बाद चला, I was like washing my face. I was like, यार, why am I tan? Like, Seriously, I was like, what's
So
wrong with me? And then I was like, oh shit, yes, that's what happened.
no. So basically, for our listeners, we did all of that. Yeah, we camped and we did everything. And in typical Breaking Bad style, Omar left the car keys in the keys.
Jesse move. It was a Jesse
It was a
move.
typical Jesse move. He left the keys in the ignition, and turns out our battery died in the morning or by the morning. So when we tried to start the car, it wouldn't work, and we were kind of in the middle of nowhere with no one around at the time, except for a bunch of other hikers who went
Who
down
went down and they had
have
no
their
intention of
fun.
coming up.
Clearly. This was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, come on, who would?
Exactly.
So
But yeah, I was.
in order to get help, Omar had to walk, I think, a kilometer or a kilometer and a half, maybe more, to the nearest point of civilization. And he brought back help. We jump started our battery, and we were on our way. So despite all of this, there was hardly any exhaustion or the dead kind of feeling that you would get after doing some sort of physical exertion, or even going out, say, to like a plan or something, that we'll all go to the beach and we'll have a picnic and something, and then you come back and then you crash because holy shit, it was so exhausting. No, there was no residue like that, and that was really the point that struck home. So yeah, during the hike, it was a lot of mind over matter. Yeah, but afterward as well, we realized that how much mind over matter mattered before we went on the actual hike itself. Like our decision to uh, do the hike in the first place, to get fit for the hike in the first place, that mattered a lot, and we drove ourselves towards it. The closer the day of us actually going there came. So the drive that was there, it was wonderful. The journey all the way, I mean, leading up to the event and afterward was amazing. Was just amazing, and that just proved that the mind can win out over a lot of things. That, if not everything, but at the very least over a lot of things, physically, mentally, and either off. I mean, it's all about the mind. We're not differentiating here, because it was the mind that played a very big role in preparing for it and executing it.
That's right.
So yeah.
That was
Consistency,
fun.
like you said, and disciplined in the training. For whatever it is that you're training for, I think you have to have a goal, and you just have to give it your everything. Obviously, this was not the only goal for either one of us.
This is just the beginning.
It was, yeah, it was just step one. And I think it's important to keep moving. अगर आप ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप किसी चीज़ के लिए ट्रेन कर रहे हो. Endurance can be built with just you moving your body and giving it the food that it needs, not just in terms of the food that you eat, but the movement as well. हमारे जो lifestyle that we have acquired in all of these years, a lot of people are just sitting in front of the screens, and that kind of kills your body. I was just reading about this, and apparently a sedentary lifestyle is one of the highest causes of early death, just FYI. और लोगों को ये अंदाज़ा नहीं होता कि वो बैठ के अपने आप को मार रहे हैं. तो उनको तो नहीं, हम तो ऑफिस से घर जाते हैं और टीवी के सामने बैठ जाते हैं और टीवी के सामने बैठे बैठे सो जाते हैं. एंड पीपल आर वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दिस when they are telling you, this. No, I'm very lazy. This is like, I have heard all of these statements. So please don't kill yourself like this. Allah Ta'ala has blessed you with a beautiful body, and your body needs movement. आप मत करें हाइक, कोई बात नहीं. आप मत रन करें मैराथन. हम मतलब वो maybe that's a preference that I have, or Ibadat has, or Umar Bhai has. But take care of your body. I think that's important.
Yeah, and I guess take on small challenges. Like I remember I did 5K marathon, जो चल के मैंने की थी. But now I have well signed up for 8K, inshallah, which will be this month. And but this time
Inshallah.
I'm really preparing for it, mentally as well and physically as well, because you can't just prepare your body if your mind isn't into it. Because first thing first, when you show up, you need to have your mind in it. Okay, you have to make up your mind. Okay, I'm gonna show up for working out, or I'm gonna show up for running. So that is the most difficult step. Like getting a membership to a gym, or like getting a schedule is easy, but I think getting to a gym or getting your shoes on for workout or jogging is much more difficult. And that's once you have done that, I think it gets easier. But I think that's the most difficult part where people fail.
It's the prep. It's the prep. You're right. वाकई एक दफा you change your clothes, you put on the shoes, and then you're out of the house. You're like, okay, अब तो हम निकल गए. अब now I'll do it. It's just
Exactly.
that step. And honestly, I've heard Jocko talk about it. I've heard David Goggins talk about it, and even they will tell you, okay, it's not like okay, they want to do this every day. It obviously they have days as well when they don't want to do it. And I was listening to some podcast, and they said, what do you do when you don't want to do it? And very simply they said, I still do it.
Exactly.
So you have to push.
There has been many times, like when I just don't want to work out, ठीक है, or when I'm like यार मतलब आज नहीं हो रहा. It's just that you find some other way to do that. If my knee is being bad, I go for cycling, ठीक है, I opt for cycling. If there is if I start a workout, I'm not feeling well, I try to at least do like 40% or 50% of the workout. That way at least my body is like, okay, I have done it, so tomorrow I won't be lazy. At least you need to prepare your mind for it. So yeah.
Also, all of our bodies are different. I'm going to talk about it from a woman's perspective. I don't know if you guys know, but men's body respond differently to things and faster as compared to women. आदमियों का metabolism is also faster as compared to women. That is why you will see that women put on weight much faster than a man will. And उनके लिए weight lose करना या फिर अपनी fitness को पहुंचना भी थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है. And I think a lot of women who are watching this will agree with this कि थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है ये काम. But it doesn't mean that you become discouraged. Just remember that you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. There are a lot of trainers in Pakistan who have achieved such amazing things just by being consistent and not giving up. और उनमें और हम में क्या फ़र्क है? They just got up on the days that they weren't motivated and they still did it.
And the funny thing about physical fitness is that it makes you feel younger rather than it makes you feel tired or something or the other, or whatever notions people may have.
It boosts your confidence. It really
It doesn't just boost your confidence. It not only does do that, although that is a very big thing that it does. What I mean, it's like you have bigger muscles, you have greater endurance. So getting up off the ground just because you're sitting on the ground is so much easier. You don't feel as exhausted, you don't feel as achy as you would if you were just leading a sedentary life. That's one thing it's a very small thing, but I've noticed that, and it's so much more fun.
I don't think it's a small thing. अगर आपकी कमर में दर्द ख़त्म हो रहा है, and I know again a lot of people will relate to this, अगर आपके थोड़ी सी movement की वजह से, and I know so many men and women saying, अरे भाई हमारी तो उम्र होगी, हमारी तो कमर में ही दर्द नहीं ख़त्म होता. क्यों नहीं होता भाई? इसलिए नहीं होता क्योंकि आप उस मासूम को हिला नहीं रहे सही से. Obviously don't start doing belly dancing or whatever it is, but like move your body in the way that it needs to be. I don't know, I'm losing out of words over here, but walk करें, jogging करें, and trust us. Okay, forget these two did not go through fibromyalgia. I can tell you कि आपकी pain आपसे नाराज हो जाएगी. And honestly, I think that is the aim that you should be looking for. You want the pain to stop. I know because I was there. I was always in pain, always. And I'm the same person. And I can tell you I have no pain. And people who know me know कि मैंने मतलब how long the struggle was for me. But it's surprising how it was just 2 to 3 months of consistency, discipline, and just following a regime that changed everything. And it was not just physical, it was mental as well. Like Umar Bhai has been saying, prepare your mind over matter, so all of those things. But it does. Your pain will stop.
Yeah.
So it's not the pain stopping you, it is you stopping you.
Yeah, I think
I
that
think लोग
was a
आप जो कह रहे
very
हैं डरते हैं, लोग यही डरते हैं ना कि यार मुझे दर्द होगा, मैं थक जाऊंगा, या मैं थक जाऊंगी, यार no, I'm too tired already, why do you want me to work out?
No, that's true. That's true. That happens in the first couple of weeks, I would say. It happens for the first week for sure, and it slowly starts dropping off by the second week. By the third week, you
when
don't
you're
even notice it.
sore.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you start working out, you get more excuse not to work out or
Yes.
to do anything. Like when you're sore, or your body isn't supporting you. Okay.
Because come on, it's natural. You're moving muscles, you're moving parts of your body that have not been moved for years.
Exactly.
They're gonna complain. Of course, they're gonna complain, and that doesn't mean that you're abusing them or anything. No, you're telling them to stretch like you would stretch in the mornings. Like when you get up, everybody stretches. Everybody does some form of stretch, whether it's their back, whether it's their shoulders, whether it's their arms, whether it's their legs. Everyone stretches, and it gives you that relaxed feeling that, oh man, my muscle has been scrunched up the whole night, now I'm letting it loose. It's the same thing that's happening to the rest of your muscles in your body. The time you start working out in the first week, that's what all of your muscles are saying, that finally we get to stretch out a little bit. So yeah, once they are stretched out and they're staying that way by continuous exercise, light exercise, not even saying that you get into proper beast mode or something, but light exercise would keep them stretched out and keep you feeling fitter. And that's a great feeling to have. It just requires consistency. It just requires a little bit of effort. It requires a little bit of time to be put aside for this particular activity out of the time that you would do other things in, like watch TV or
आप टीवी देखते देखते कर लें.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. Have one activity that's going on that you normally would be doing sitting down. Instead of sitting down, do some squats while you're doing it, or lift a couple of weights. You don't have weights, get some water bottles and lift those. Everyone has
Or do
water
body strength exercises. The thing is, pair it with something that you enjoy, so that your mind kind of goes like, oh, I'm enjoying myself,
Exactly.
And eventually your body will start enjoying it too.
True.
Again, it's not just for your body's health. आपकी mental health इससे बहुत impact होती है. You get more serotonin off the top of my head.
Your brain releases endorphins and
Yes.
serotonin and other chemicals that actually make you feel good. It's not a like it's an actual physical, chemical slash biological thing. The more you work out, the better you'll feel. It's your body is structured that way, and your brain helps you to reinforce that ideology. And what more could you want? The more you work out, the more nicer you'll feel, the more happier you'll feel, the more better you'll feel
A
about
lot
your
of
day.
people have combated depression, by the way, with the physical activities.
Exactly.
तो मैं ये नहीं कह रही प्लीज डोंट कि डिप्रेशन का क्योर ये है कि आप जिम चले जाएं प्लीज दैट्स नॉट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग
No, that's kind
डोंट
of the
होल्ड मी ऑन
first
दैट
step.
बट it can help.
Yeah.
It can help you save from it as well. अगर आप लो फील कर रहे हैं तो go out for a walk, and I know for a fact कि everybody will say यार what, I feel better after that. So why
It
are
really
you not
changes your
doing it?
mood. It really changes your mood as well.
It does. It's just that
So I
first
guess.
step.
Exactly. So I guess we can wrap it up here. And
pretty much, I think I've said
yeah.
as much as I would want to have said about this.
So the summary is that the limitation is all in our head. We might be limited with our physical capabilities, but there is no way that we can suppress or we can go beyond that, right? It's all in our head. With the physical activities, we have to also train our mind or think that we can achieve it, because if you have the physical let's say capabilities, and if you don't put your mind to it, you won't achieve that. So I think that is the main thing. And I think be happy, try to be around positive people, gather as much positive energy as you can to keep your mind in that condition. The more negative thoughts or negative energy you have, the lesser your mind will be to cope up with that issue.
Just to expand a little bit on this last point that you said, surrounding yourself with positive people or like-minded people, it helps a lot in your journey to doing whatever it is that you're doing, because weaker people, or the ones who are not exactly in the same zone as you, they will try to pull you down. Not consciously, don't get me wrong, this isn't a conscious effort on their part. It's more of non-participation. Like you would say that, okay, let's go out and for a hike this weekend. People who are not into the same zone as you, they'll say, no man, I got plans and this and that and blah blah blah, and you'd be put off. You'd be like, oh man, akele jaake main kya karunga.
Exactly.
So it's things like this. So the more you surround yourself with people who will say, yeah sure, let's do it, the more you will actually end up doing these activities, the easier it will be for you to be or stay in that zone. And it'll help you grow faster. It'll help you do things that you would normally not do. It's part of the experience, the learning experience that you're putting yourself through. So it's not just about taking your mental journey by yourself. It's also got a lot to do with the company that you're keeping, the people that you're surrounding yourself by. They can also help you achieve the same things at the same time and have fun along the way, rather than discourage you from doing all of this and add to the difficulty of achieving it in the first place, which is already extremely difficult, because it's not easy. It's not easy to convince yourself to do something or to take on challenges that are both physical and mental. So yeah, the more you surround yourself with good people, energetic people, or like-minded people, the easier it becomes.
Easier it will be. Anything from you, Noor? Any last words?
For the women again, because I'm bringing a women perspective. Please don't focus on the scale. I think not just women, even men do this. They focus on the weighing scale. कि मेरा weight इतना कम हो गया, मेरा weight इतना कम नहीं हुआ. क्या फ़ायदा हुआ, मैंने इतनी मेहनत की. फ़ायदा ये हुआ कि you changed as a person. And that's very important. Please don't get discouraged. In fact, don't let yourself get discouraged. Do this for your health rather than the way you look. Because हम बहुत सारे लोग we're oriented by the fact कि यार I don't look good, I look fat or whatever it is. That could be the reason that you start, but don't let that be the long term goal. Remember कि आपकी health होगी तो आप आगे चलेंगे. So think about that.
Okay.
So that's it.
I guess, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and I think either one of us will definitely reply to. अगर इसके बाद अगर आपके कोई सवाल हो, कोई comments हो, कुछ भी.
Inshallah. So it was good to talk to both of you. After two weeks, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back.
It is, and the sad part was that we decided to do the podcast at the crater. Unfortunately, well,
the wind.
let's just say, yeah, everything we put up wanted to just fall down. So
yeah, the wind was too
wasn't
aggressive.
really practical.
It wasn't practical, but yeah, I'm glad we did that, and let's see where we take our mind next. Inshallah. So thank you everyone for listening to our podcast, and I hope you like it. And if you have any questions, any comments, leave it in the box below, and we will definitely let you know. And once again, thank you, and goodbye.
Allah Hafiz.